Good morning guys and welcome to today's video. If you work in an automotive shop, you know that the Snap-on dealer, the Matco dealer, always drops by and tries to get you to buy the new fanciest thing. Well, here we have the Obsessed Garage dealer. Jeff is here today. We're doing some detailing stuff, and you always bring by the goodies for me to try.
Yeah, we want to have some fun, so this is the perfect place to do it.
So what did you bring for me today?
So I brought two things for you. First thing is I brought the dry ice blaster. So Tommy has one of these. So we saw them. That's where he got it from. And so we're gonna play around with some wheels, maybe some suspension parts, and we're gonna just dry ice blast everything.
Does Tommy have like the big, huge one that does the whole chassis?
He has this and the big boy one.
Okay, so this is like not if you want to become like true FEA, but if you want to be like the Walmart version of FEA and do like little stuff.
The Publix version.
The Publix version. All right, I like that. So what we're gonna try with this, I've got a set of wheels that I ordered from Japan. These are actually barrels for LMGT1s, but the important thing with these is not removing the original finish from the barrels and keeping the original stickers. So I think in this scenario, dry ice will be much better than if I had to like sandblast them or strip them that way, because we'll protect the original finish. All right, now mind you, I bought these off eBay. They're basically the equivalent of sight unseen for me because I know that they're very rough. All right, let's look. Oh, they don't look as bad as I thought. You see how they kind of come with like a factory like black finish?
Yeah.
It's interesting. So the LMGT ones that I got with that trade, they had 9-inch fronts and the proper 10-inch rears. So these are just so I can build them to be like a proper GTR spec. Look at the pellets.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs pellets.
So unfortunately it looks like it's pitted and I'm not gonna be able to bring it back with dry ice. You can see it works really well on the outside of the barrels, but I think I'm just gonna need to powder coat these satin. It sucks that I probably won't be able to save the stickers. I mean, I guess you could paint them, but only one wheel has the sticker and I don't really care because wheels are for me, so. Tommy said he'd kill me if I take the stickers off, so maybe I'll make a video of Tommy reacting to me taking my stickers off my 400R wheels.
Tommy, we're gonna take the stickers off. Watch.
Imagine. He's probably calling me right now. Marco's been making really good progress with the cage kit on the A90, but one of the things that's going to be a pain, if you look in here on the ceiling, all the glue that's left over from the like insulation, and then also where the dry ice was used to take off the sound deadening, it leaves over like a leftover residue. Traditionally, you'd wire wheel that away and it kind of makes a mess and smells. So if this works, I think that could be a really good solution for it. It doesn't remove it completely, but it definitely took a significant amount off, so it'll probably make it work easier. I'm gonna try it on this root spot and see how it works. It's gangster on the roof.
Yeah.
And it takes it right off. It's cool because it kind of like freezes it and then it like flakes off. Is there any risk, Jeff, of this like messing up the paint on the other side?
No.
No?
No, no.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool.
I know. Now I'm not gonna go too crazy with this because what it's gonna do is it's gonna contaminate Marco's entire work environment, but we just wanted to test it so that way we know if we can steal from Jeff in the future. This is like when you're a kid and you get your first power washer and you're like, what does it look like if I power wash this? That works great for that.
Yeah.
Cleans that up pretty nice. I mean, you look at that compared to that.
Stop, you have to raise the price of the car.
Yo, that's the jam. On this trans, probably make this trans look brand new. Yo, Lee's buying this thing. I'm about to charge him extra.
That's how you take the picture too.
Damn, that's sick. It's been another one of those days where I'm just working on lots of little random projects. While Jeff polished out some of the water etching that was still left in this R32, I went over the wiring trying to figure out why my auxiliary radiator fan wasn't turning on. Now that's the small fan that's in front of the radiator. If you have a standalone on your GTR and you run into the same issue, what I found out is even though I was triggering the fan to come on through the ECU, mainly because the car was overheating if it was sitting still and had the AC on, I couldn't trigger it and get it to turn on. And what it turned out is in line from the ECU to the relay that commands that fan on, there is a temp switch that goes onto the lower radiator. I'm not sure if mine was bad or if the threshold was just too high, but by jumping that switch and essentially eliminating it, I was able to have full control over that fan and get it to turn on when I wanted to. CRX, I finished up putting back together some of the interior that I took out from when I had the dash. Now I'll probably make some little delete panels and stuff, but still just waiting on my timeline to get this thing over to Bell so that way I can get a proper cage in it and then paint the interior and then start to work on painting the exterior. Not sure if I showed you, oh, it's not a Honda thing. Not sure if I showed you my little livery. It didn't turn out how I wanted it to. The stickers kind of blend in a little bit too much, but this is kind of the vibe I was going for, just something simple. Probably add some little other elements once the car's painted and stuff, but I wanted to get some Brendan on it. The wet sports are back from powder coat. Now I just need to put some fresh decals on for the CRX. Then I can sell those XXRs or whatever the wheels that are on it are. A few people hit me up. I thought they were only worth like 200 bucks. It turns out they might be worth as much as like 500 or 600. Pretty sick. I feel like this channel is turning into a concrete update channel and I'm kind of not even mad about it. I think it's pretty cool and I'm about to show you guys the coolest addition that has been completed thus far. This is the compounds version of the Nico drop. I got specs from Luke over at Archie. He had about a 10% grade, which is what I mimicked, but it blends into flatness here. So with a track car, you can still kind of have a flat line, but the idea is to be able to kind of flick it and dip down in here. So this grade should be just enough to hopefully get a car to lift the tires, but not so much that it will make the car necessarily board slide. But it looks really freaking cool. Now we got these areas filled, that area over there is filled, and it's widened up this section tremendously. Look how crazy this looks now. That looks like a standard road width. So much room for activity. Insane. So today they've been doing all the demo work, clearing out the apron that's gonna go behind my house. The problem is it's hard to tell what the line needs to be until I drive it. So I came up with the idea of using the side-by-side. I don't want to risk putting concrete down and not having it flow right. That way I can understand if we need to eat in the banks more to make it wider, narrower, and just figure out kind of the speed you're going to carry, because I think it'll translate pretty good between the side-by-side and real life. Mike is the man, dude. It's been awesome having you here. Help us with everything.
Look at what we got here.
I know. I just I did some rips and it was actually like really helpful to be able to kind of figure out, you know, like I didn't even realize that the car is going to be transitioning. We'll be starting wide here, but he's been kind of moving dirt around so we can figure out where the track's going to kind of flow. But this is going to look so freaking cool. We got these new trails back here now, dug out through the trenches. The key for that was adding some drainage, just since the bank is going to be kind of up. There'll be some drains just to kind of take the low spots and send the dirt and send the water back into the trees. This is so freaking cool. Screw building cars, building driveways is more fun. This thing has a little bit of a like stalling issue at idle, so tweaking that a little bit. Jamie's gonna take a look at some logs. And then the Obsessed Garage salesman brought another toy for us to play with. Sounds too good to be true. I still don't really trust it, but Jeff's gonna demonstrate. This thing apparently has enough torque to torque my center lock wheels, so I don't need to use a giant breaker bar.
Yep, and loosens it.
Looks simple. Bro. All right, if you've never seen me take off these center locks, you need to understand that it typically takes a breaker bar this long and me putting all my weight on it. That shit's crazy.
All you have to do is just pull a trigger. One-handed too.
Can you speed it up or no?
No.
So I just gotta wait now?
Yeah.
Or are you supposed to take this off by hand?
You know, I need to rewatch the video to see it.
Some salesman you are, guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have the pin tool?
No.
That's crazy how slow it is. I would have thought it would be like a normal like gun where it's like.
No, well they purposely did that so you know you're not freaking flying off with the wheel.
No, that's sick.
There you go.
Still seems too good to be true, Doc. I'm gonna check it for good measure. I feel like I walk away for 5 minutes and you got the whole dang cage in here, dude.
We're getting there.
How's she coming?
It's coming. This car is definitely a lot harder than a 4-door IS300, but it's not bad.
It's basically a 2-door IS300. Think about it.
It wishes. It's the right color at least.
Those door bars are pretty cool.
Yeah, they fit nice.
Look how tight that thing is. Big stoked. I want to go on a little drive, so I'm going to pick up some Indian food in the R32, doing a couple pulls, tweaking the boost. Now that I got the rear end hooking up a little bit better, I'm just playing around with the boost by speed and kind of giving it a little bit more sauce, a little bit sooner, but still trying to find that balance where it's just lightly hazing the wheels and not completely blowing them off. Got my Indian. Got some drinks. And now we are back for day 2. Flying out for Seattle today, so I don't have much time. I want to show you guys, again, another concrete update before we jump into the shop and go over some stuff that's been going on in there. The big pad is almost done. They've been out here pouring since like 7 a.m. and it looks insane. It's gonna open up so many new opportunities for layouts, for people doing burnouts without having to get dicey near buildings. I'm really stoked on this section. Look at this. And it's all graded too, so the water will run off into the pond. A lot of time and thought goes into all the grading and stuff, but I'm really stoked. This is gonna be sick. Talked much about the difference between concrete and asphalt and why I decided to go with concrete. Obviously most of this place was concrete before, but I've learned in Florida with all of the heat and humidity, the asphalt just doesn't really cure well. OSW, whenever they do any additions or modifications to the skid pad or they add asphalt, it stays soft for months. A buddy of mine just had a driveway done. It stays so soft, like OSW skid pad is still so soft that you could put a jack stand and it pushes right into it. Even though it might, I think it's quite a bit cheaper. But the concrete will last way longer. And I found that here it's really good for tire wear, for traction, and I'm told I can drive in it within 3 days. I'm gonna let it rain and I'm probably gonna wait like a week or so, but 3 days is crazy for it to cure and be able to be driving and ripping on it already. Jeff left the dry ice blaster here and I figured out that it actually works really good for removing surface rust. So the CRX I am gonna paint the interior, but in the meantime, it's got a lot of this gross little surface rust like this just from sitting in the dry ice blaster. Takes it right off. So you might have noticed this whole rear end's cut out. This is in fact an HGK subframe for quick change diff. So what's the process? I'm guessing the quick change was too big?
Diff itself has a hump right here. So where you see the markings is where the subframe needs to come up more. And right there. So I cut the bare minimum. I didn't cut this structure out because I believe 6-bolt face quick change will fit with this in place. So then we just make one plate here and one plate there. Cover for the gears, the quick change gears will fall about right here. So we have plenty of room down there to change the gears when we need to.
This build, in addition to the E36, we did retain the stock gas tank. Reason for that, the stock tank's usually like custom molded to fit up really high, as high and tucked as it can be, but also keep a low center of gravity, opposed to the easy route, which we be putting a fuel cell back here. That would have the weight pretty far back. And then what some super people do is they put the fuel cell like behind the seat in this area, but that would require a whole lot more fab, a firewall, all that 9 yards. So retaining the stock fuel tank with the radium top hat will allow us to get the fuel that we need without the added complexity of all the fab of putting it in the back. I don't remember if I got a shot of these door bars, but they look pretty neat. How's everything going, Marco?
It's going pretty well. The Super Chat, I realized that I'm like very, very spoiled because all the cages I've done have been in like 4-door cars, and it's way different when you have like a 2-door that's a little more cramped. But welding on a new chassis compared to like a 20, 30-year-old one is way nicer. The cage kit just fits like absolutely phenomenal.
I was looking at this. This is just like already notched, just boop.
And like this kind of fitment is like amazing. So the fact that you can get like a turnkey kit like this and then it be TIG ready is awesome.
I was looking. Wells are looking nice.
Yeah, they're getting there.
I feel like once you take a cage in a car, you can't ever go back.
Yeah, no.
It looks so good.
Yeah, thanks.
Always exciting when CRX parts show up. We got some seats from Recaro for it, so we're gonna open them up and see what we got. One of my favorite seats, both for looks and comfort, is the pole position. So we got a set of cloth FIA pole positions that will be going in the CRX. The main reason I chose these seats is they are pretty accommodating, so depending on who's driving it, I wanna make sure they can fit comfortably in the seat and they can be safe. This thing I'm gonna have on sliders in the CRX, since all the guests will be driving the car on the compound, setting lap times, and they're gonna look sick in there too. I'm stoked to see them in. However, I am going to wait to permanently install these until I get a cage in the car. I don't have a roll bar, and I'm not a big fan of fixed backs, especially with harnesses, unless you get a proper roll bar in the car. But I wanna have these so I can mount them to the car because it's gonna be going to Bell soon for a roll cage. And it's important to have the seats that you're gonna run and figure out your seating position before a roll cage is installed, just to make sure that you can get the harness bar in the right spot. You don't want it too far forward where you can't move the seat far enough back, or to have an issue with the door bars contacting the seat. So looking at this, if I wanna have enough room for a tall person, we're gonna need to have the harness bar be like, probably almost back here, where like your instinct might be to put it here, which would be way too close just based on the seating position with how tiny this car is. Another little update on the Chaser. Johan's been rigging up some wiring stuff for it. This car actually had the same problem as the 32. Must be a Florida problem, where at stoplights or if the car was idling for a long time with the AC on, it wouldn't cool down. And that's just because the car didn't have any fan other than a clutch fan. Clutch fans are sick, but if they don't have RPM or you're not moving, the cars don't stay cool. So this car had a different radiator shroud set up from another car, so the fan plugs didn't work. But what's cool is it has 2 built-in E-fans to the shroud. So it's just a little bit of wiring, and then we'll be working.
Little bit of wiring. These are 2 Orvids fan shrouds, so they have the dual fans. But regular non-turbo cars seem to come with a different shroud that don't have the fans.
Got it. You might have noticed the giveaway car is still in the background. A couple reasons for that. The winner is actually going to be coming here and doing some drifting. He's a Marine and he's got a complicated schedule, so it's gonna be probably sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But he's also a drifter, and he asked if I could set it up so he could slide it when he comes to the compound. So I've been digging through my parts bin and I found my spare knuckles and my spare lower control arm. So I'm gonna put them in this, probably raise the front end up a little bit. And then when Jamie was here, we discovered that the VVTi wasn't actually working correctly. So we got that resolved, and we're gonna put the car back on the dyno to make sure it's 100% perfect. That way when he takes it, the car's good to go. I feel like it's been the theme of a lot of videos lately, but I have a flight to catch. So this is gonna be the end of the video. A lot of little random stuff. I'm heading out to Seattle for FD, and then I'll be back, and then I have my first almost full week at the shop in a long time.